The Chartographers.
Hello, everybody! You're listening to the Chartographers. We are deciding to do a part 2 episode of our Childish Gambino podcast because I don't know if y'all heard part 1 of our Childish Gambino episode.
I hope you keep that.
It was wild. It was so wild, y'all. It was incredible. We have 8 albums of which to rank, and we did 4 of them, and it took us close to an hour, which means we have 4 albums left. So that means me, Evan Sadi, co-creator Taran O'Reilly, and special guest. You can find him on Instagram, kid_Cody with a K92. Cody Gordon is here.
They're gonna think the with a K is part of it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. If you really want to type out with a K, you should create a Finsta under that one too. Either way, I just want to say we're all here. We're talking about Childish Gambino. We've ranked 4 of his albums already. So for the record, we're not going to talk about those albums or what their orders were. Just know all that is in the first episode. You need to listen to the first episode. It is vital you listen to the first episode to do it. Because on our part 2, we're going to rank his number 1 album out of the 4 we have left. What are they? Glad you asked. They are Royalty from 2012, the mixtape. There is the studio album Because the Internet from 2013. There is the pop EP Kawaii from 2014. And there is his most recent release, 3/15/20 from 2020. Did not come out on 3/15/20. Fun fact.
The stream did.
Well, on his website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's named after.
Technically counts.
The initial experience of the album.
So, we got those things left, and we're in kind of a tricky place right now because we have these things, and we really haven't talked about Royalty Because the Internet, Kawaii, or 3/15/20 yet. So, special guest, Cody Gordon. Contact him for your headshots and other photography needs, as well as podcasting. What is the name of the podcast that you were going to start?
Sneakers. No, sorry. It's Late Check-In. Late Check-In.
Late Check-In.
About sneakers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is it still going to happen?
Yes.
Damn right it is. So look out for that. We're a podcast network. We'll also, when you make a 30-second ad, we'll play that at the end of our episode. So make that happen.
I got a 25-second pitch. So.
All right. All right, cool. So in that case, of our 4 albums that we have left, we're talking about number 4 through 1. Number 4, what would you nominate, Cody? Royalty. Ooh, I am so glad you brought up Royalty right now.
Royalty.
And
It's Royalty. It's Royalty.
I always hated that ad lib.
I hated that too.
Oh
my god, so much.
I kind of think you're low-key supposed to hate it.
Yeah, because can we also briefly, it's just a quick side tangent, can we talk about Thirsty real quick?
I feel like we've talked about it on the pod before.
I don't recall it, we did.
I'm thirsty.
So there was this, Skylar Spence,
Do we have to?
friend of the podcast, he is a person who also loaned some of our themes for some of our seasons too, really great guy. And the thing is, when we saw him live, there was an opening act called Thirsty, who's kind of a hyper-pop EDM kind of,
like he's
style.
like, what's that fucking
PC
label?
music,
PC
yeah,
music.
kind of thing. Like really aggressive, hard, speaker-blown beats kind of thing. And the thing is, Thirsty had this thing where every time before every song would just be this girl sample just going, I am thirsty. Every fucking time.
This is producer tag.
Yeah, and it was one of the worst artists I've ever seen in all of existence. That's what every time I hear it's Royalty, that's what it reminds me of every single time.
It's like even higher though.
Yeah, but for me, for the longest time, I always had in my mind that I didn't like Royalty. I remember I got it when it first came out, and it was one of those things where genuinely I just had it in my head, and especially I gave it like a 1-2 listen, and it just was the thing that struck me as just kind of very street level and very much kind of a lack of the Childish Gambino that we know and love. And re-listening to it,
so unfair to it.
well, and that's the thing, listening to it this week, I have no idea why I had that perception, because it is a remarkably considered record. It's one, I don't even know how it is, why it's come out as a mixtape, because it really, in many ways, feels like a studio record. Because when you get the fucking Hypnotic Brass Ensemble in there on the song American Royalty,
well, you have
like,
Hypnotic Brass and
wild.
RZA on the same track, and you're like,
yeah.
I feel, this is the one where I was like, I'm low-key sad that this isn't more widely available because I feel like more people should hear it.
And then, I mean, I don't even know. No disrespect to the Bambino himself, but like you got Nipsey Hussle on it as well.
Yeah, fucking Nipsey.
And
Which that's the beat on Black Faces is so fantastic, and obviously, I mean, I love the lyrics too, but I just I vibe with that song so hard. And honestly, this is a great fucking mixtape. I think We Ain't Them is a fantastic opener and tone setter because it's sort of in this like Daft Punk ballad kind of production area, which the Kavinsky sample on R.I.P. is very much from that same universe to me, which I also love that song. Bun B's verse is fantastic. Yeah, I just this album is
It's overflowing
really
with guest stars, too. And the thing is that, like, unlike other guest stars, like, say, Stone Mountain or whatnot, I really feel like some people really actually steal the spotlight sometimes, because also Ghostface's verse on It May Be the Glamour Life, just so casually brilliant as Ghostface Killah pretty much always is.
all right. I was about to say, when you have Ghostface on your album, he's probably going to steal the spotlight, which
Yeah.
is also why that song's only a minute and a half, and it's just Ghostface's verse.
And
I
it's
feel like
so
I feel like
fucking
Donald
good.
was like, I'm not even going to try to compete with that. I'm just
Exactly.
going to let that stand on its own.
Yeah.
Also, wasn't there was a feature on Bronchitis, right?
Well, it's produced by Beck. I
Beck-
know
okay,
that
it was
much.
Beck.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
But Beck also appears, of course, on Silk Pillow, which is interesting.
Cringy.
Yeah.
It's
We're debating adjectives of how to describe this song. But Cody, what makes you love this record, and what makes you also put it at number 4?
Easy. One of the things that wins, like, man, like you pointed out, American Royalty, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have seen him continue the Black Kennedys theme throughout the rest of his works, at least some way or somehow, because that's cool. Like, that's legit cool shit. And I feel like he kind of just, like, did it and then forgot about it, which I don't really appreciate. But the one song that really just, like, nailed it in,
Don't say real estate.
loved it, Toxic. And I'm not even saying that because of the Britney Spears beat.
Bitch, I'm my boner! Yeah.
And,
You're a Danny Brown stan.
so I think this was, like, around the time, like,
Well, they were
Just
touring
heard-
together, right?
Yeah. I had just started listening to Danny Brown, and he was still this new,
Wild, out of the fucking nowhere.
different voice. Like, I was like, hurt my ears, but I was like, I like that it hurts, and I want to hear more.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I saw him
He
on,
became a rap masochist, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I
Masochist.
still, his music has not changed one bit, and I still listen to him like, yeah, that's Danny.
Mhm.
And Toxic, man, it just.
Well, for the record, the way it uses the Britney Spears sample is actually kind of brilliant in the way that they use the Too High Can't Come Down as part of the chorus. I like it. It's weirdly sultry in a way that the original was not. It is still a lot to take in. And that's the thing about this record, is that it just veers into so many different styles. Unlike where Stone Mountain, where it kind of feels like, kind of turgid and it kind of feels like in a lane, I feel like Royalty is like just a mash of experiments.
Well, and I also feel like part of why Royalty is resonating with us a little more is because Childish Gambino is credited as the producer on, like, at least half of the tracks. So it feels so much more like it's in his universe, whereas, like, Stone Mountain kind of felt like there was a little bit of a disconnect there, because he wasn't putting himself into every aspect of it, which he does on, the rest of his discography.
Right. Some of the tracks I will say, that's unnecessary, but for the most part, I would say overall, it's
Wait,
pretty...
you didn't like
I
Unnecessary?
did not like
I
it.
hate that song. I hate Unnecessary.
So for me,
That was the radio single, though.
I was. At
Yeah.
first, I didn't like it. I didn't like how they broke up the word unnecessary.
Yeah.
But it grew on me. And the actual verses in that song were very spot on.
Mm-hmm.
I like the
The
verses.
verses were very good.
Yeah.
I like the verses, but the hook just kills it for me.
Yeah, I had to get over that, because at first I hated the hook too.
Meanwhile, I hate the hook and the verses of One Up, so that's just...
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, it's one of the things where the Chance feature here is not, I think, the strongest Chance feature, I will say. Yeah.
No.
And also, it's one of the things, like, as much as I love how weird he gets on there, I did not like Real Estate for the most part.
I didn't like Real Estate
Yeah,
either.
aside from, of course, Tina Fey at the end, which is actually a kind of an astonishing cameo when you really think about it.
Is it me, or does that not sound like Tina Fey? This sounds like her, right?
Oh, it's
It
Tina
sounds
Fey.
like Tina Fey.
Okay, maybe I just need to hear Tina Fey's voice before I go to sleep tonight.
So we'll just have her... She has an episode on the Calm app, right? Yeah.
that sounds exactly like Tina Fey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I wonder how they got that to work. Like, you think Tina Fey just came into the studio and...
I mean, he definitely invited her. That's the one thing I will say when he talks about earlier how about, like, Tina Fey is the person who gave him confidence and, like, told him of these things, and that's something that he references in the lyrics. Like, okay, that makes sense. And so I remember also when this mixtape came out, there were, like, some, like, page 6, some other stories of, like, Tina Fey, the rapper? There was a lot of interest from, like, non-rap publications about it for the reason of kind of this jokey little guest verse that she has on there.
Yeah.
Which I actually thought was, like, kind of cool. It was a weird way of, like, kind of, generating buzz and hype for it, too. But yeah, it's a strong record. I just feel like in the face of the other things that we have left, it's just not as strong.
It's just kind of bloated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 18 tracks.
Yeah.
And not all of them are incredible, so it just doesn't quite stand up to the other things we have.
And this was a departure from Punchline Gambino.
Absolutely. And I feel like that was something that he needed to do as well.
Yeah.
Simply because after Cul-de-sac and after Camp and after that whole, he's a hashtag rapper, I feel like a lot of people just, made the beat and murdered it. Casey Anthony, like, okay, there's your punchline, I get it.
Anthony.
He needed to get away from that. So, I mean, I'm okay with that. Go ahead.
Also, can we, since I think it's really integral to him as an artist as well, can we just throw in his evolution through his voice as well?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so for example, I was listening to Cul-de-sac. I don't want to go back because we already... But when I was listening to it, my partner, I asked her, just playing in the background, like, what do you think about it? And she's like, oh, that was a guy? Like, that sounded like an alto, like, female singer.
Oh.
In Cul-de-sac. I was like,
wow.
And this is someone, for preference, who never really listened to Childish Gambino, like, present or past. So, like, for her to say that...
I mean...
breaks my bubble, at least.
There is just something to be said that your voice matures a lot and continues to change throughout your entire life. Your voice continues to mature. So, yeah, absolutely. He still sounds like a kid on Cul-de-sac. And I feel like that's part of why you hear a lot of on those early records that and the like, because he's trying to like harsh himself up a little bit and seem like he's had more crazy life experience than he
be the chest a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then I feel like even just a couple years later, again, this is when we're looking at when this is in his life, this is technically tail end of puberty still. Puberty doesn't technically end until you're 26.
Yeah.
So like,
That's very true.
there was still a lot of like big changes in his maturity and how he was not just speaking, but also he was finding his delivery and finding different ways to both sing and rap and getting better and better at that. And even like from Cul-de-sac to Royalty, there's a huge leap.
Yeah. And that's what helped him solidify this as number 4, because going with Royalty is when he moved back to Stone Mountain and recorded it with his cousin Steve G. And I think just with his connections and Steve G's, they were able to do a lot of collaborations that brought this up together.
Yeah.
It just brought out a different side of him that I really appreciated, and I loved his
Well,
tone.
and I also feel like Royalty was made to prove a point, too, because I feel like there's a degree of separatism that he had from the hip-hop community, just because he was,
exactly.
because he was on TV, because he was a writer, there's that one line he has, NBC's not the only thing I'm coming on tonight. He's, but it's one of those things where he was also from, he's a nerdy sketch comedy kind of kid, and he's doing these things, a lot of it's kind of jokey joke, and I feel like Camp, there's a lot of struggle between him trying to be hard on there, and I feel like with Royalty of him getting all these names on here really kind of firmly was a move to establish himself as like, I have hip-hop credentials.
I got Ghostface on my album. What's up?
Right. I mean, exactly.
When you got Ghostface and RZA and Bun B on your album 3 songs in a row, like that was a flex. Let's call it what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then, and like credit to him on there. But that said, I am perfectly fine with putting Royalty at number 4.
Also, quick aside, for moving on, also love Schoolboy Q's verse. And that's another reason why I loved Unnecessary, because his verse was...
You felt it was very necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, in that case, number 4, we have a Royalty. Number 3, Taran, we have Because the Internet Kawaii and 3:15:20 left. I know, we're getting down to the shit.
So I know that my number 1 is heavily disagreed upon by the general Childish Gambino
community
fan base, just based on reviews that I was looking at. For me, what would come next is Because the Internet. And I think it's really, really solid. I think, it, for good reason, has some of his biggest hits on it. Mm-hmm. But it also is, again, it's 19 tracks. Obviously, there's some, like, interludes and some shorter ones, but there's a lot of experimentation happening here. And a lot of it is really successful, and some of it is skippable. And so that's why I would put it at number 3. Even though it has fucking I mean, it's just so good.
Because the internet is an incredible mess of an album, and I mean that truly. It is wild. It is all over the places. It is basically him kind of breaking out of this bubble of being a rapper and like being a funk and soul and pop artist all at the same time while still being a rapper. It is just a confluence of sounds smashing against each other.
Also, like throwing some experimental EDM.
Yeah,
well,
right. Like full noisecore in a few places.
I made really unpopular comment, but I legitimately love to turn my headphones up and listen to Zealots of Stockholm.
Wow.
I actually really dig that one.
Yeah, I know. Look,
it's hard, but it is.
But it transitions and it becomes so peaceful, and you're like, "Damn, I'm like that was good.
That was blissful now.
That was
Exactly.
good because it's like turn and it like just levels out.
Yeah.
And like as much as like it opens hard because Crawl hits you.
Crawl is so fucking good. Crawl would like. I feel like would have the potential to be among my all-time favorite Childish Gambino songs if the sample was less of the song. Because the verses on that track hit so hard. You know, he starts the verse and then when the beat kicks in both of the verses, it's just, I lose my shit sitting at my computer and just go in. And I also think that the transition into World Star is fantastic. World Star fucks.
Yeah.
World Star is like really intense and I love it as a listening experience.
Yeah. There are so many great fucking moments on here too. I mean, aside from the fact that like The Worst Guys is kind of like an obvious pop moment, and yet it's not my biggest pop takeaway on here, like it's kind of amazing because 3005 is just a striking song. And this is one of the things we were talking about identity. He is at this point here where he is famous and then he just doesn't know what to do with it. I think the most crushing line pretty much on the whole album comes from 3005 when he just talks about when the check's clear, they're not here. And I feel like that just kind of speaks about this is a super fucking sad record. It really is. And the thing is, there's so many just incredible moments on here of him articulating that or fighting against it on these other things here. My personal favorite, let me just tell you, Shadows as a song is just gorgeous. It is striking.
No, that's Thundercat helped on that.
Of course he did, because that is exactly. Yeah. I mean, you can hear it.
Thundercat helped on Shadows and on Pink Toes.
Mm-hmm. I think of Pink Toes a listen. I'm not a big Jhené Aiko fan, so I've never really...
I don't know many people who are, personally. I mean, I know a lot of people love her Chilumbo, which came out this year. There's a lot of people that really thought it was a strong album. But, like, especially her earlier stuff, especially her song that she did with him on her record, Bed Piece, is just pretty...
Oh, she's the one he got romantically involved with.
Yeah, well, and even when we was looking up the Sway freestyle he did over the Cakes beat by Drake, and he mentions at one point during his freestyle, like, a lot of people wondering about whether or not they are dating. Which I guess it permeated a lot of his career too.
I mean, she's in the Oakland video,
so and she also went to Kauai with him as well.
Yeah.
Well, they filmed that in Kauai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but now is he dating SZA? Who knows? It's a whole different. No, I mean he's not. He's a father now, so it's a whole different experience. But that being said, if it's just
also we haven't talked about Sweatpants.
Oh yeah,
Sweatpants.
Yeah.
Alzheimer.
Friskers don't start up, by the way.
They do start up.
Yeah.
They still work as cars.
But
just don't make noise.
Yeah, Sweatpants is such a fucking baller song. And it's one of those things where you could tell his flow and his delivery had refined to an incredible point. And the thing is that, like, him as a rapper on the royalty mixtape proper, it's just such a quantum leap in terms of what he's able to accomplish on Because the Internet, too. Because then there's also his rapid-fire verses on The Party, too, which are also just, like, insane. Just the level of precision that he's able to hit on there. Like, this whole record, it is a frustrating record. It is overstuffed with too many things, and yet I still appreciate it so very much.
Yeah. I do like the transition between Shadows to Telegraph to Sweatpants to, like, those 4 tracks, that I can just have on repeat.
Yeah.
Like, that just flows to me so well. And then
they're even grouped together in the stylization of the album tracks.
Yeah.
That 1 through 5.
It's like a chapter.
Like, he wanted that, he knew that he's like, this is my shit, I'm putting it right here in the middle.
Yeah, You got me there.
Well, because
it definitely is labeled
No,
1-5.
yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Well, the whole point of it too is that there was a screenplay that came out with this
They
at
did.
the same time.
I was actually curious. Did he ever finish that screenplay? Because the last time I looked, which was a long time ago, but he was still like writing the rest of it.
When I was looking, I was using Genius a lot through this, just because it was a great point for reference points for just context as well as obviously more accurate lyrics. But the thing is that they also mentioned they had all 5 parts of the screenplay on their site too, and then there was a link to the video of the clips he had filmed so far to the point, which is just more of a collection. And the screenplay is only 76 pages long, which is roughly 76 minutes, so not like a full film. But definitely, I think what he was trying to achieve for the album and everything was soundtracked by a certain song or whatever. So whether or not that part of it is successful, we still have the album as the hang-on.
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those things, I love it and I hate it at certain points too. There are some things that here that just don't work for me. I'd say around the time we start getting around to No Exit doesn't do anything for me personally.
Frickin' Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah.
I
love that song.
I want to love that song. I would really like it if it didn't go in the background.
Yeah.
You're laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm like, why is this sample
it's so
here?
goofy.
No, it takes me out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't even think, it's not that I think there should be nothing there. I just don't know why that sound on this otherwise like really pretty chill experience. And then there's like this hype noise sample playing on repeat. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. But I want to like it more than I do.
Well, let's put it this way. Cody, would you throw this at number 3?
No.
What would you
I'd
nominate?
throw Kawhi at number 3.
Okay. Let's talk about Kawhi for a second. Kawhi fucks. I don't know if y'all know this here. It's one of those things where that idea, I feel like, especially as a rapper, and especially because of the internet, he's starting to discover the things he can do outside of the realm of just pure rap. And I feel like because of the internet, he's really kind of leaning a little bit more into some potential kind of like pop experience elements that he kind of saw on Camp, but he could really explore a little bit more fully here because he realized he's not a rap artist, he is a musician. And I think that there's kind of this degree of freedom that he's just kind of discovering through it. And I feel like with Kawhi, god damn, when he wants to have a fucking hit, he can. And I don't know how Sober wasn't a fucking radio hit. That song is so fucking good. It is so fucking good.
Yeah, I was playing it, and my roommate just started bobbing his head. He's like, oh yeah, I remember this song. He's like, I love this.
I also Pop Thieves Make It Feel Good. That is a Michael Jackson single. I love that song. I don't as much love the Jaden Smith outro, although I do appreciate what he was trying to go for there.
That's the entire career of Jaden Smith musically, though.
Well,
genuinely.
Jaden Smith didn't write the verses.
Oh,
they're performed by Jaden Smith, because it's like memories of Childish Gambino, but Childish Gambino wrote the Jaden Smith verses, which I thought was a very interesting.
That is very interesting. Actually, kind of honestly, and by the time they get to Late Night and Kawhi, just that kind of like monologue that he has there, it's groovy. I
works.
Really dig into
and
it.
that
low key synth sounds.
If you take it more, and that's why I like the outro on Pop Thieves. I don't like them together as one track because Pop Thieves is such a radio single to me that I wish I just had it on its own. But like if what you're going for is the Late Night and Kawhi like drum circle spoken word vibe, then that's great. You know. Yeah. I also think Palisades is a fucking fantastic song. Like these are just I'm a pop head, and this is the purest
straight
form
injection
of pop Childish Gambino, and so I really, really dig it.
So for me, I never really liked a lot of his pop side music.
Okay.
So it's funny, I've always like identified with him trying to become like a better rapper, but then whenever he diverted to pop, I was just like, I like Sober.
You fucking sell out. Yeah.
To a base, but
I mean, you on the one hand, I get that. On the other hand, he's been doing full like R&B songs since Cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
You know, Got This Money doesn't have any rap on it.
And I think
it's always been part of who he is.
Yeah, and the thing is that I feel like the other thing about his pop moments there is that I think we would know if it wasn't genuine. Like, if there was a degree of him just doing a fucking sellout verse for whatever reason, if he was jumping on a fucking Imagine Dragons track or something like that.
all of the guest verses he did from 2012 to 2014?
You mean when he was on the fucking... Well, and the thing is that genuinely, if you think about that in terms of, like, his Ariana Grande or his Leona Lewis or whatever the fuck he's jumping on then, by the time we're around here, it still feels like he's doing it on his own terms. And I feel like there's something to that. Even Retro takes a beat off of the fucking Sick Boy mixtape and actually repurposes it into what I think is ultimately a better song, too. Mm-hmm. And so it's one of the things I really appreciate this. Now, the Beach Picnic version of 3005...
useless.
Yeah, I fully agree on that one.
Well, it's also funny because, I apparently, when this album was coming out, there was, like, a hidden, like, puzzle to figure out on the website, and eventually the Childish Gambino Reddit gave up, so Childish Gambino himself, like, made an account and went on there and, like, walked them through the steps of how to unlock the verse for 3005 Beach Picnic version. So there is, if you go on YouTube, there's a version with verses over it, which are original, which I think is very odd.
Mr. Illuminati.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort.
Exactly. Which I just think that just makes the version on the album that much more stupid to me. Because yes, you switched up the production, but it's not interesting enough for me to warrant, like, repeat listens. Because I already have 3005 and I like that song.
Yeah.
And don't change something that's so good and familiar. Like, it was good.
Okay, while we're here, though, we're talking about these two things here. I feel like it'd be amiss if we didn't also talk about 3:15:20 as well, since we're just talking about everything.
Since we're here,
let's just fucking go about it. Yeah, exactly. Cody, what do you...
I mean, that leaves one spot left for me.
Okay.
No, we're just talking about it.
Exactly.
I absolutely loved it thoroughly.
Okay.
So now 3:15. Sorry, everything that wasn't in Awake My Love was in 3:15. Like, I think he took what he didn't do in Awake My Love and put it in 3:15 and added even more of his own originality to it and hit and even with that some of the pop influence in 3:15 and made it beautiful. I don't know how he did it, but somehow he was able to blend a little bit of pop and funkadelic and add a little modern twist of himself into it. And I think it's beautiful. I love 3:15:20.
I do too. I was really pleasantly surprised by this album.
Oh.
I felt like, exactly like you said, I think he took the lessons he learned on Awaken My Love and applied them back to more of a genuine exploration of what his music is. Oh. And I think that while from I'm putting a 24-hour continuous loop of this album on my website, and so I'm changing, so I'm changing all of the track titles to the timestamps so you can tell where you are in the album. That's the thought behind that, but it makes no fucking sense from a commercial standpoint because there's then a disconnect. You know, people can't remember which of the songs they liked because they don't have an album or they don't have a title to associate it with. But also the album art is literally just white.
Yeah.
So I think but I definitely think there was a conscious choice to make this album non-commercial, which I think is fascinating because I think that 1910 Beautiful sounds like
beautiful.
It sounds like peak era Prince, and I think it should be on the radio right this second. I think it needs a video stat. I think Algorithm is insane and unreal and so fucking good.
So,
please.
This is what I love about Game. There are certain songs that... So, for example, Heartbeat. I remember exactly the year, the month where I was when I first heard Heartbeat. Algorithm, I remember exactly where I was, what I was eating, like the weather was. I remember when that shit hit, I was like, damn, this is nice. This is the Gambino I knew. And I had been missing probably since because of the internet for me.
Damn, okay.
And it also, Algorithm for me, it almost feels like it's coming from that lineage of the Funkadelic, but it sounds so utterly modern in its production and its stylistic choices, which Awaken My Love was full throwback, whereas this is pulling that into the new era. And especially for an album that's coming out in 2020, I don't know, it feels like such a great, like, launching point to me. And then, I mean, just this whole fucking thing, I think Sweet Thing is a great jam. Oh, fucking Vibrate. We have to talk about Vibrate.
With 21 Savage.
Which, first of all, is far and away the most streamed song from this album.
For good reason.
On multiple streaming platforms. Which I think is fascinating, but also I love.
Really? Even more than the Ariana Grande collaboration. Because also...
now it feels like summer.
Yeah.
I mean, but that came out 2 years ago.
Yeah, part of the summer pack. Well, okay.
Let's clarify that.
But before we jump into this, the whole idea of this kind of this time-stamped artistic statement thing and this white album cover, there's a degree of which I feel like Childish Gambino is surprised by his success to a degree, I think. Because, like, the fact that Redbone was a mega multi-platinum hit, like, it kind of stunned everything. He didn't show up to the Grammys for any of that shit. He didn't show up when he won for This Is America. The fact that he put out a standalone song of This Is America with this very wild and innovative music video, and it becomes his first chart topper straight up, that's not on this album whatsoever. And I feel like even the fact that he put out Summertime Magic and Feels Like Summer as part of the Summer Pack, kind of a two-song EP or what have you, like, the fact that people then immediately gravitated towards Feels Like Summer of like, oh shit, this Gambino hits so different. This is that soulful kind of shit that is so different even from Awaken My Love, too. It's almost like there's this degree of, like, the fact that he only includes that song on here and not This Is America, I just wonder, this debuted at number 13 on the charts. This should have been a fucking chart topper. This should have been number 1. There were no real radio singles that were out here to promote this at the same time.
Beautiful could have been a radio single.
Again, could have been.
I think it should have been.
Exactly. And the thing is, I feel like there's this degree of, like, he made it and then he put it out, and it's just, I don't know what his relationship is with music, why he's gonna lazily, and I'm sorry, truly lazily name this album 3/15/20, the name of the date of the release. Because at this point, it feels...
it feels like he didn't want to promote it.
Right.
It feels like thank you. He wanted to just put it out because he had these songs and he wanted to release them, but Childish Gambino wasn't where his head was at. Or if it was in a place that I cannot understand. Because that's exactly what I was saying. It's an anti-commercial choice. Multiple choices were made specifically to downplay the impact of this album, which I just think is fascinating.
Which comes out on Columbia Records, a major label, definitely not Glassnote. You know, like, these are all things working in his favor. And it's so strange because, again, this album is just so great. Because then you have Littlefoot, this little fucking acoustic stomp jam of a number, too. You have yet more songs about loving your children, you know, which is another continuing thing with Under the Sun.
Yeah, but I mean, both Under the Sun and The Violence... The Violence is another, like, fantastic, it feels like a Stevie Wonder tribute to me. And then Under the Sun is, like, I don't know where that's coming from. It feels a little funkadelic, but it kind of just goes all over the place, and I love each individual part of it, and I think it creates a fascinating, full piece of work as a song. Yeah,
the work on his voice, too, was, like unlike anything we've ever heard before as well. Like the visceral, like, tone that he has through all these songs,
and the fact that he's willing to change his voice because on Algorithm, this whole speaking thing through is the whole time.
The range of voice we hear from him, the thing is, a lot of artists would have gotten 4 or 5 different features to get the textures that they wanted for all of these varied performances, and he, is able to do it all himself.
So that leads us to, of course, where we're talking about this year. And I gotta be honest, it's one of those things where between these 3 releases here, because the Internet, Kauai, and 3/15/20, I'm kind of split a little bit here. For me, it's not unequivocal. And if I were to talk about in terms of, like, risks, in terms of, like, artistic achievement, honestly, I would rank Because the Internet higher than 3/15/20. That's where I'm currently at on it. Simply for the reason of, even if there are facets of Because the Internet that don't work, the ambition and reach are so much greater and stronger.
So are you saying that you would put 3/15/20 at number 3? And then Because the Internet and then Kauai would be your ranking?
Okay, let's just lay the cards on the table because we had talked about this for almost 2 hours at this point, right? I mean, which I wasn't expecting. I'm so glad. Again, Cody, he's here. Kid _ Cody with a K, 92. I will say, personally, my personal ranking, and I'm kind of, this debate has really kind of solidified and refined it for me. I think my 3, 2, 1 would be Kawhi 315 and Because the Internet.
You would put Because the Internet at number 1?
Yes.
Wow.
I wasn't really expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that either,
but
because we've talked so much this week about how frustrating it is.
And
but
yet I
understand why you're doing that.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and it is frustrating, but yet it's one of those things where I am just so compelled by this just incredible, like, this psychologically thing I can't even fully comprehend statement of a record about fame and loneliness and sadness that's also pop heavy and also rap friendly and also experimental. You know, like, it's just so many things at once where maybe if I don't put it on the most, I appreciate the fuck out of what that record and what it is trying to achieve, even if it doesn't achieve every aspect of it. And I can say that more than just about any other Childish Gambino album, is that maybe its ambition exceeds its grasp, but holy fuck, has there ever been a rap record like this in our recent memory that's not a fucking Kendrick album that is as introvertedly ambitious as this is, you know? That's just where I'm at, personally. Cody, where are you at?
So for me, it really, like I said before, he's taking lessons from every single album. He's put them in 315/20 very strategically, and I appreciate that because it alleviates a lot of frustration that I have with Awaken My Love, and I know we disagreed on that, but
it is a part 1 episode. Listen to it, guys.
It alleviated a lot of the frustration I had, and I'm telling you, when you put this, for me at least, when I put that album on, it just sings free to me,
unvarnished, unchanged.
I feel like I'm listening to, in its core, Gambino back in cul-de-sac camp days.
Really?
But with all the lessons he's learned and put them in here. So all the pain and all the growth.
So how would you rank what we have left?
3, 2, 1.
I would say Kawhi, Because the Internet, and 315/20.
Where are you at?
And I would say Because the Internet, Kawhi, 315/20.
Okay. I think, at the very least, maybe as a consensus is no one had it as their number 1. I think we can maybe put Kawhi at number 3.
I think I would agree with that.
I think we can probably do that. And if we do that,
then I think voting-wise, Because the Internet at 2, Kawhi, or 315/20 at number 1.
How do you feel about that, Cody?
I feel good about it.
Okay, well, in that case...
So many fans are going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about? Are you kidding me?
I'm so excited.
315/20 is the best Childish Gambino album, but it is.
I invite all of your constructive criticism to thechartographers@gmail.com. But guys, just for a recap of everything that we've done, the first 4 albums, of course, number 5 through 8, we talked about in episode 1, so listen to that for that ranking. But in terms of this episode and our top 4, number 4 is Royalty, number 3 is Kawhi, number 2 is Because the Internet, and as you know, number 1 is the Spanish rap from Community. Of course, it's incredible, it's iconic, legendary, truly. No, it is 315/20. But hey, everyone, listen, thank you so much for listening to us, because this has been a heck of a journey. We have one more episode after this, which is the Happy Hour mini-show, where we just talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about that's not related to the ranking of the albums. I'm so excited to dig into this, but most importantly, I'm so excited that we had fucking Cody Gordon here on this episode. Cody, thank you so much for being here.
I just really, this is a true honor. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well,
it's our pleasure.
Yeah, and hey, if you have thoughts, and I know you do, please don't forget to go ahead and leave a review. When you leave a review, it helps other people find the podcast, even if it's a negative one, trust me. Also, do the thing, reach out to us on Twitter, reach out to us on Facebook, or thechartographers@gmail.com. We would love your comments, love to know what you think as well, but in the meantime, keep on listening, because you know that we'll be. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye! Bye. I'll let you figure that out. Probably, I mean, if you're there for the first half of the day, second half of the day, snappers are up.
Okay. Oh, it's the Goody.
Is what?
We're recording?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm gonna cut all this out.
Okay.
Everything you say is on record.
Oh, okay.
Say your most controversial opinions right now about politics.
Epstein's still alive. He just had. Is that too far? Is that too far? I'm sorry.
Hello, everybody! Hello. You're listening to the Chartographers.